Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Inko and I have here my husband who likes to pretend like he's not interested in filming this video with me. But we all know that he's interested and he's excited. Why lying?
Okay, fine.
Anyways, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the culture shocks moving and living in London. If you guys don't know, we recently moved to London. It's been what, about 4 months?
Like 5 videos.
I have to say it in every video because it's not everybody that watches the last video that watched this video. So we moved to London about 5 months ago, 4 months ago, thereabouts. So we haven't been living in London for that long, but I have definitely noticed a few things and I feel like I just have to come and just, talk about it in this video. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And if you want to, see more about that, then please keep on watching. This is my husband. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, so for those that don't know me, Femi.
His name is Tolu, by the way.
My name is Femi, by the way.
His name is Tolu.
So that's basically me. I'm actually the only Femi you need to know. The good one, though. The good one. Okay, anyways, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. First cultural shock, babe. What's the first cultural shock you've noticed? I think that the first time we were back in, and then I was in the lift with some guy, and guy started telling me about his whole life, and I'm like, dude, we just met. Like, are you trying to ask me out or something? Like, what's going on? Why do I know so much about your life in like 1 minute?
Do you know that is so accurate?
How do you talk about your life with what you just met? Like, and then so after that, I think that when we moved, and then we met with the receptionist or whatever she does, and then she told me about her kids, her ex-husband. So now I know she's divorced.
And we literally just met, quite like, literally that day. We already knew that she had a child. We already knew that she was divorced. We already like
the school about how he is with black kids in school, and like
too much information.
Why do I know so much? And that your ex-husband has restaurants. Wow, I think I know you so much now. and then
there was even another one that I met. It's still one of the receptionists where we live at the moment. He had cancer, so he had to have a surgery. I feel like this was literally my first time of meeting him, and I knew everything. I knew the cancer he had. I knew the surgery he was gonna have. And I feel like, because it's so funny, because I did not initiate that conversation. I was literally just in the lift waiting for it to go up. Next thing I know, oh, I'm not feeling too good. I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to react to this?
I know, like,
what am I supposed to say? Like, it just makes me so awkward.
The contrast to Nigeria is that, because if you actually genuinely ask someone in Nigeria that, are you ill? You probably get a response, I'm strong in Jesus' name.
Yeah, actually.
So you're going to get people who always underestimate what they go through. Like we had a neighbor that had breast cancer, and probably we didn't know till she died. We just knew that she always had to go to the hospital. So you can understand that. Then on the other end, where somebody is telling you so much, and I'm wondering, what do I say back?
Exactly, like what's the appropriate response? What am I supposed to say? I don't really get it. Like, another thing that I noticed about British people, they say, "You're right." Every flipping time. Like, I'm telling you, I literally just passed this person. You're right? Yes, I'm alright. And then you pass back. Well, I think you're right?
That's not from, that's the Yoruba thing.
Ah, God. At first, when I first got here, I wondered, why are these people asking me if I'm alright? Do I not look alright? Like, I didn't know that it meant like it was just an expression, like how are you, or
just like saying Pele in Yoruba.
Yeah, just like saying Ekpele in Yoruba. It doesn't really mean it doesn't mean that you're not alright. It's just like a space filler kind of. I didn't understand that that's what it meant.
So there's something else. So I walked into the room, and then the woman that was the receptionist and the other guy, and she was like, "Oh, welcome, lovely." I'm like, "Guy, you just met me." There's nothing lovely about both.
And that's another thing I noticed again, still in line with that lovely thing. They say darling
love
every time. Like, you're right, darling.
You're right,
okay, love. I'm like,
love, Bawu.
I don't know you. I really don't know you. You can't be calling me love.
How did we get?
I don't know you like that. Can we relax?
So for me, it was like, guy, who is this person calling me love? Like, we just met.
Don't even have to ask me. Like, this girl called me. Like, that's the way they are. Like, that's the way they are. They call everybody love, even patients in the hospital. Like, you are the doctor, you are seeing a patient, and this patient is old, 80 something, and I'm calling her, "Hi Carol, you're right, love." Like,
Fam,
you're not my love.
because I know that in Nigeria, for me, probably like me that likes to use the word dear a lot. People still feel like dear is very endearing, so you don't go around calling people dear.
Me, I even hate when people call me dear. I'm not your dear.
Exactly.
So now talk about you calling me love.
Like, guy, I'm not your
I'm not your love. It's just so weird. Then again, another one, calling everybody by their first name. It doesn't matter who they are. Your oga, your anybody, the oldest person in the hospital, the youngest person, everybody's first name. I find it so weird. Like, I would call even my superiors at work. Maybe let me just say his name is Paul. Instead of saying Dr. Paul, they will just prefer you call them Paul, for example. And this is somebody that is years, maybe been practicing for like 30 years. So you can imagine that he has so much experience. He's much older, and I'm calling him by it feels heavy in my mouth to say. I'm unable to say it. So I always still call them doctor. I can't. I just
former
can't.
workplace helped me with that. So I think another one is, this one is wild actually, is the smoking. Now, so I have a problem with. I should have a problem. I'm a doctor, right?
No, forget that one. You say you should have a problem. You're a doctor. Doctors will be on duty and they will take a smoke break.
They're like, I followed that to hospital one day.
In the hospital, there's literally don't smoke here.
And like folks,
and people are smoking. If
right
you look on the floor, they're like empty like cigarettes. What do they call those?
Like
stubs. Everywhere.
And then the fact that like don't smoke, and like folks are basically dumping their smoke stuff.
People smoke very casually in this country.
Then the kids,
even children, everybody smokes so casually. It's like just a way of life. You know, the way what can I liken? I don't think Nigerians have any vice that is that casual.
We do have casual vices, because every vice in Nigeria is a big deal. So you can't just walk, and because like you see parents smoking in front of their kids, like, or kids smoking in front of their parents.
Yeah.
So we know that you are smoking, but there are some things you dare not do in front of your parents, right? Because you know that that is. But for them, and like it almost feels like 1 out of every 2 persons smoke.
Yeah, I feel like half of the population actively smokes. Actively, it's just a thing that they do, and they don't even think about it anyhow. It's just like a reflex, just a way of life. I don't know. I feel like you get used to it over a period.
Yeah, but the one I probably would never get used to is the school uniforms. My God.
The school uniforms. They're very short.
They're very short.
They're very, very short.
Brothers and sisters.
They're very short.
So I'm not particular about like clothes. Like I feel like I'm not the most conservative for me.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm not conservative at all. But when I saw them kids with those short skirts, I'm wondering, what am I going to tell my child by? Because
I don't want my children to be wearing short skirts.
So I feel like dressing should be age appropriate, right? So I'm not even mad if you were older, but like these are
teenagers, 12, 13.
Those skirts were really short.
And do you know the funny thing is, obviously, because you are growing up in the UK, you cannot use your African mindset to tell your child not to wear short things, because you will now make the child the subject of bullying. Because if everybody's skirt is above it's mid thigh.
Mid thighs, which above
it's even mid
thighs. You hardly ever see.
Above me is conservative.
Yes, you hardly ever see above
mid thigh skirts. If everybody is dressing like that in school, and I don't want my child to dress like that. Though.
I don't know if it's like that outside London, but really never seen. But no, London.
I haven't seen anybody that had just an above knee skirt.
It's rare.
I've never seen
except she's wearing the trousers.
And if you tell your child not to wear mid-thigh skirts, she will probably be bullied in school, or maybe she will have 2 sets of uniforms. The normal uniform when she's leaving the house,
and the one that
exactly, and the one that she will wear when she gets to school, so that people will not laugh at her.
Because I feel like, so for me it's like, okay, I'm not the most conservative, but like those dresses should be age appropriate. So I feel like if you're 18, 19, whatever you wear, mid-thighs, no ties at all, it's fine. But like seeing a teenager is like, God, what's going on? Are we going to raise kids like this? But I guess we'll never know. We'll find out soon. Or we'll just move out of London in the end.
Again, still on this smoking issue, takes me back to the smoking issue. You see children that cannot literally be more than 12 or 13 smoking at the bus stop. And you can't say anything, because the way this country runs, it's not your business. so
Not even in
don't
London.
talk about it.
It's not even in
just
London,
mind
to
your
be honest.
business. Do you understand?
In London, everybody minds their business. It's really not your concern.
Exactly. But the good thing that I've noticed, good cultural shocks, because I feel like we've talked about all the ones that we're not used
not
to.
necessarily. Yeah, not used to. Not necessarily bad.
Yeah, the ones we're not used to. But the ones that I'm not used to, but in a positive light, is how efficient the transport system is. It's very, very efficient, especially in London, because we've been to a few other smaller towns. It's efficient still, but it's not as efficient as London. London transport networks very efficient, very timely.
I think for me, I like the fact that they grow very old.
Yeah. That's true. That's another.
Yeah.
I would say this as a culture shock, because truly it is a culture shock.
You don't see so many old people in Nigeria.
You don't see old people in Nigeria that much.
Nah,
the bulk of the population in Nigeria is middle-aged to young. Young to middle age. That's the bulk of Nigerian population. Here, it is mostly middle-aged to old age. That is the bulk of the population. There are not that many children in comparison. And people, like, I remember when I was working in the A&E in Nigeria, a lot of my patients were young, very young, 40-something, 30-something, 20-something, 50-something maximum.
I hardly see old people in the hospital.
Yeah, there are not that many old people in the hospital because many old people are already dead. Do you know what I mean?
Can't move anywhere.
Yeah, the life expectancy is not that good, and it is either they are dead or they are very frail in Nigeria.
At very young age, like
they get frail very early,
like
from
60 and 70
in Nigeria.
Folks are already frail.
Nigerians at 60 are already frail, and it's very unusual because in this country they don't even consider you old at 60. Do you understand? Because people get old to 90, and it's a large chunk of people that get old to 90. So that is what is old for them. But in Nigeria, if you see a 60-year-old, you would start thinking, oh, this person is old at 60.
And that reminds me of one cultural shock when that old woman said he was our father, and it was like, does he look that old? And she started apologizing
immediately. Immediately, she started apologizing.
She apologized like 3 or 4 times.
And he was just teasing.
He was actually just teasing, and apparently, I think that it's not nice to
call people old. Yeah, even the old guys, they don't want to be called old.
Yeah, so you have to be very careful.
Yeah,
so that you don't actually annoy people by calling them. So you don't use words like massa randomly.
No, you don't.
Please just say hello, hi.
Just say hello. That's something that Tolu struggled with when he came. Because he used to say massa. I told him, guy, they don't used to say those kind of things in this country.
Old,
you make them feel old. Just say their name, and they will prefer it that way. You don't have to say ma. You don't have to say sir. Nothing like that. They are not knights. They keep this quite literally for knights.
For knights and all that.
Yeah, they don't say that. I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a not good thing, but British people can be very polite, and they can be polite in a snide way as well. Polite in the normal polite way, and polite in a very, very snide way that is sarcastic at the same time. You know how most Nigerians, if they don't want something, they'll just say it point blank, I don't want it. But British people will say it in a polite undertone. Do you understand what I mean? So it's also very, and then they take offense when you are blunt and direct. For example, I'm going to give an example. I was on the phone with somebody, a call center switchboard, and I was asking for something, and I didn't hear what the person said, so I said what? And the person got offended that I said what? She was like, that you don't have to be rude even if you didn't. I'm like, guy, I just meant I didn't hear you. I'm like, I wasn't trying to be rude. Okay, I'm sorry. I just meant, could you say that again? Like, I did not mean what, like, to be aggressive or rude.
Yeah, extremely polite. I don't know what it is, but I guess that's just what they are, really.
Yeah. It can be annoying, actually. It can be annoying because there was even a time still on the phone too. I called and I said, I guess the person on the receiving end didn't hear me say good morning, but I said, could you please connect me to blah blah blah. Maybe the person didn't hear the good morning, and the person was hesitant because the person said I didn't greet or something.
Yoruba.
I'm telling you, they're exactly like Yoruba people. How Yoruba people would behave. That's something like that. That's exactly how it is.
I think they take their politeness very personally.
Yeah.
They are quite conservative. Like, they could be crazy, but like all of the progressives, but they are still conservative. The typical British person is very conservative. Yeah. If you are black, you probably still get some stares.
Do you know something? I try not to look at the surrounding.
Yeah, you actually see get some
I
sense.
don't. In fact, not that I try. I don't look at the surrounding because I wasn't aware that I was black until I moved into this country, and I've been abroad before, obviously just for vacation, but it's different. It's different when you go for a vacation versus when you are living in a place, because when you are going for vacation, you're not really integrated into the society. You're just kind of floating on the society. But when you are now actually living there, then you become integrated slowly. So you start to notice things. I told you the time in the train
now, like when I was the only white person, I was the only black person on the coach. Now, I've never felt out of place in my whole life. Like the way I felt like I'm actually supposed to be here. Like I was all gathered up. Like I can't see anybody that looks like me here because they were drunk and they wanted to actually start conversations with me. I'm like, yet again, I'm not your friend. Because he was asking me about where I live. I'm like, why are you asking so much?
Why are you interested?
What's going on? Like, why so much? And because, apparently, I moved away from him to another seat. And then another person came. And they were already talking about their wives. And you guys literally just shared a bottle of beer.
That doesn't make you besties.
How are you guys besties? And guess what? They were already talking of if they could hang out before going on Monday. So that's where the wife issue came up. Like, what will your missus say? Like, you guys just met on this train. What's going on? What's going on? So do you understand? So for me, I actually never felt out of place in my whole life. That was fun. Like, should actually be. So he actually, like the guy that was staring at my hearing, and then I looked at him, like the guy quickly removed his face. I'm like, guy, why is staring so much?
And then again, that's why I like London in particular. And I feel like when we move out of London, we might miss this about London. It is a huge pot of boiling cultures. Yeah. A very, very huge pot of boiling cultures. I tell you, every Nigerian food we've ever wanted to eat is literally a stone throw from where we are. Quite literally, and I'm not exaggerating. All you have to do is just go out the door, walk a little bit, and you get an Afro store that you can buy whatever you want. Like, buy dried fish, everything, palm oil, poundo, Indomie, everything you want. So you don't feel totally out of place in London. As opposed to, I imagine that if I was in a smaller town, I would feel different and out of place. Exactly. Definitely.
Because I remember that when we were in Osham, I think we saw a black person like once. Do you understand? Because everybody else was white. But the first time we got to London at Backing,
we already hear Yoruba.
Like the first person I spoke Yoruba to, and I'm like, God, thank you, Jesus. Because we didn't understand the transport system.
Yes.
It
took quite a while for us to understand the transport
system. I don't remember the story, but I don't think it's appropriate.
It's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. Don't share it. And again, still about the huge pot of melting cultures. I work in the emergency department. I'm sure I've said it before, but in the emergency department, I find that the bulk of the workers there are immigrants or not Caucasian, really, not British. So there are a lot of Indian, Pakistani people. There are a lot of French or Greek people or people from other European countries. There are a lot of Africans. There are a lot of everybody else except British people in the emergency department. So you can quite literally count how many. Like, I feel like the workforce would be maybe like 60% immigrants, 40% British.
Yeah, I think that ambitions are different here too.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't know what's in their personal bank accounts, but they seem to be more contented with
not much.
With not much. Yeah, so they are not going to go out of their way trying to pursue anything.
Yeah.
That they are not interested. I think for us Nigerians, like, we like to accumulate wealth and all of that.
Accumulating wealth is not a thing for them.
Yeah, you don't see that tension. Like, when you come to Nigeria or you come to a place like the island, there's this tension that if you don't have money, you will know.
Yeah. And that's different here because even a rich person, my cousin was telling me that Steve Bartlett, that's his name, that guy from Dragon's Den, the black guy from Dragon's Den, he is literally goes to her gym.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Steve Bartlett is a multi-millionaire, so you can...
So you don't feel that tension in the air where everybody's like...
There's no oppression.
Exactly, because you're going to be on the train or be in the tube with someone that probably times 10 your net worth, and both of you are paying £1.50 for the train. Do you understand? So you're not going... Yeah, definitely, you're going to see the G-Wagons. But if you even check it very well, you see that the G-Wagons are driven by Africans and Asians. Not really.
Well, maybe because we haven't been to North London.
Although we have not been to West.
I'm sorry, West London.
Not London is the ghetto, no.
No, I've not been to West London. West London is where all the posh people are.
All the whites, yeah.
That's where all the rich posh people are.
The real rich white people. Yeah.
So maybe because we haven't been there, we are still in the normal immigrant area that gentrification is happening in.
Actually, for what is worth, please take a bodyguard.
Tolu, stop. I like Peckham. What's wrong with you?
Please don't go to Peckham.
Yeah, I beg, stop it. Peckham is not that bad. That's where I ate my... If you watch my vlog about me eating amala, that's where I ate the amala and it was delicious.
Peckham is bad, guys.
Tolu, stop. It's not.
You had diarrhea after.
No, I didn't. I just vomited.
Oh, really? And I had diarrhea after.
Did you not have diarrhea? You just had one episode of loose stool.
So what was that? That was infection now.
One episode does not classify as diarrhea. Diarrhea is 3 or more episodes of loose stool.
Don't go to Peckham. Whatever you are doing.
Me, I shall enjoy the food.
They sell rat poisons in Peckham, guys. Do you know the meaning of that? Do you know the meaning of selling rat poisons and mosquito sprays?
Did they sell mosquito spray in Peckham?
Fam, they had every damn thing.
They had mosquito spray.
Guy, I'm not worried.
I did not see mosquito spray.
They had everything.
They lied. They didn't have mosquito spray. You're lying. You're exaggerating. I saw the rat poison one.
I'm like,
and I imagine that I don't know why they are having rats in Peckham because to be honest, this country is not very rodent prone.
Exactly.
So I don't know why they have your house should be very dirty.
And then by the roadside, you're seeing folks. And somebody was shouting Igbo or Yoruba. Yeah,
and they were playing Igbo music. You know all this Igbo praise and worship music in loudspeaker. That's how they were playing this in Peckham.
I was leaving Nigeria to land in Nigeria again. No, I can't.
And the vibe is very Afro.
The vibe is extremely Afro. I feel like Peckham, it's too much.
It's very Afro.
Or maybe it's just that part. Is that the whole of Peckham?
It cannot be the whole of Peckham. It cannot be the whole.
Maybe it's just that part really.
It's near the train station. Where we went to was near the station in Peckham. Yeah. Maybe because that area is close to the station, so obviously probably, it's the busy area.
Yeah, and the residentials are not so...
It's not a residential area.
Yeah, it's not. Because the residential areas that if you look from far, they actually look pretty serene. If you look inward, they actually look pretty serene and all. But anyways, avoid Peckham.
Don't stop. No. The food. How can I forget about the food?
Nah.
The food in this country is very different, and I mean that, including the eggs. The eggs take a longer time to cook.
That's and they have 1 million kind of eggs.
Yeah. You know how in Nigeria eggs take maybe 10 to 15 minutes to boil? The eggs here take quite longer. I don't know why that is.
I think it's the type that we buy because they have cage, on cage, farm, something. How many kind of eggs? What can you get? And the meat?
The meat tastes very different. Doesn't taste. So what we did now, we don't buy meat from the shops anymore, from Sainsbury's and all of that. We don't buy from there again. We just buy from the butcher close to the house because we find that one gives a more
African
taste that we're more familiar with. Because the taste of the meat in the shops,
I don't feel like they're so processed.
I don't like it. It doesn't give the same vibe to your food when you eat it.
And then the coke is watered down. I think the only thing that is not watered down is their alcohol.
It's
even
very
their
strong.
beer, eats twice. The typical Nigerian beer. But the drinks watered down. They
don't use as much salt as Nigerians used to cook. So you would find that even if you go to McDonald's, for example, the fries don't taste as salty as the Nigerian fries would taste, for example. The Coke doesn't taste as sugary as the Nigerian Coke would taste.
The normal Coke, not like the zero sugar Diet Coke.
Normal Coke doesn't taste as sweet. Everything really is quite flat. Even the bread is quite flat. The taste is flat. So it's they don't use as much seasoning as Nigerians use. So by default, a lot of their foods are flat in taste and require a lot to elevate it to what your Nigerian palate is used to. So that's another very huge culture shock for me.
For me in particular, because I can't do without them pepper.
And another thing is they have like different breeds of pepper. So you know how you just go to the market and buy pepper at Arodo, but then sometimes it can be a bit confusing because sometimes you might buy Rodo that you need just one Rodo will be hot AF that will just make your whole pot of
and
stew
you still buy one Rodo
really,
and it might
really
not be
hot.
enough.
And then exactly, sometimes you buy and you put plenty and it's still not doing what it's supposed to do. I don't know how to know which one is the variant, but they have.
Remember the okra too, the same thing. They just have too many choices.
They have too many variants.
Like
it makes it different, and it's worse in the US. So
are you serious?
the US is worse. The US has so many options. It's ridiculous. Then you become so confused. Like, what do I normally use when I'm cooking? It's so confusing because they're just letting you. Anyways, so again, making hair prices are very expensive.
Yeah.
I wanted to do braids. Adoma told me 150.
The great British pounds.
150 GBP.
I think
what?
Cultural shock for me
to make hair.
Converting naira to pounds personally annoys me because obviously
me I've stopped doing that because I don't work in Nigeria anymore.
Because I earn from Nigeria and there is some converting. I'm like, so I've not bought a jeans now because anytime I convert 35 or 40 pounds to naira, I'm like, no, that's 30k for one jeans. No, that's what is going on? When it's not, what's the name of this one that you people buy? Fashion Nova. When it's not Fashion Nova for
Fashion Nova is not even good quality.
But it's expensive now.
Apparently, but it's not good quality.
Are you serious? But it's expensive. So they are using all your money to pay the brands.
Apparently, they're using it to pay brand influencers.
Because it's quite expensive. When it's not Fashion Nova, because every single time you have to convert, I'm like, no, I can't buy this. But at some point, I guess that you just have to stop converting your head, or else you won't do anything. Go Starbucks.
Yesterday we tried to have a Starbucks breakfast. We spent £23.
Starbucks.
On what?
It's not
bread and tea.
The week.
Bread and tea. Quite literally, bread and coffee and bread and tea.
The star in front of the box is very important. You know that if you are not a star, don't go there.
Starbucks.
Starbucks is crazy.
Starbucks. It's expensive, my dear. It's better for you to buy your bread and make your toast in the house.
Make it at home, bro. Or just go to McDonald's.
Go to McDonald's because a cup of coffee in Starbucks is like medium cup of coffee in Starbucks is like £3. Yes, and in McDonald's it's like £1 something.
2 cups.
Anyways, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to hear part 2, let us know. This one will be honored to come to my channel. He likes to pretend like he doesn't like to be on my channel, but I think we can all agree that he enjoys it.
Not cut out for his life.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Do you want to say bye?
Bye, guys. Like, subscribe, and what else you guys do?
Like, share and subscribe. Yeah. Bye.